Hello, everyone. Welcome to Eliane's Joy. I am so glad to see you here today. If you are joining me on the show live, or if you are on Roku, Apple TV, or Amazon Fire, welcome, welcome. I'm glad to be here, although this is considered a holiday season in America, holiday weekend, right? And holiday season, we're right into it. So I hope you had a wonderful, if you're in the United States, Thanksgiving weekend. And if you're all over the world, celebrate with us. We had some good food and a lot of thanks to give. I am happy to be here. My name is Eliane Haan. This is always a joyful show, trying to bring you joy, trying to bring you some little nuggets of wisdom, and definitely the things that I had to learn the hard way. I'll share that with you. And I am a life coach. I'm a transformational coach. I work in the executive and leadership field with people, and I teach people to come to a sort of a balance in midlife, right? When it comes to purposeful living. And I do a lot of anxiety intervention, and I share a lot of webinars and courses on the topics of stress and anxiety and living a well-balanced life. Work-life balance, I touch on that a lot. And today we're just going to touch on one of those favorite topics. I have done several webinars this month and next month on anxiety and stress around the holidays. And I want to share some light with you today on the things that I share as well in the webinars that I have been over the last couple of weeks. Some of that is related to just gentle anxiety intervention, normal techniques that I use in my practice to help clients settle down in a moment of stress, of anxiety, and stress usually induced by the things around us, right, that we get really worried about. Anxiety, when that is for a prolonged time and it just keeps going and you can't sleep anymore, you feel irritable, you feel really out of it all the time, you have no energy, but you can't sleep as well. So if all these symptoms persist and you're in just some episode of anxiety, right? You really feel restless, you feel tired all the time, and you just feel stuck. If that is the feeling, then we can remove all that darkness, or we can also really bring in the light. And if we go into some intervention techniques that I usually share with you, it has a lot to do with the everything that we know to do, right? Taking a deep breath, walking away from the situation, come into an attitude of gratitude, do meditation, or do some mindfulness walking outside, and do the 3-3-3 technique where you try to look at three things and describe them, you try to hear three things and describe them, or you try to feel things in your body and describe it. So that brings you back into a state of now, into a state of mindfulness, and most of the time in a state of gratefulness. We can also go a little deeper in that topic of stress and anxiety. That's what I want to do with you today. We can just remove some of that darkness and come ourselves from the inside out to a place of light, right? And sometimes if you are coming to that place of light, then stress and anxiety will slowly disappear. We are just trying to cultivate a little bit more of a purposeful living place, and a little bit more of empowerment being, right? If we're feeling empowered, then we have less tendencies of letting stress and anxiety settle in our bodies and settle, of course, in our mind. What settles in our mind settles in our body, right? So if we are just going to cultivate a little bit more of a purposeful lifestyle and we feel empowered by doing so, then usually the anxiety and the stress kind of dissolves a little bit towards the background. In other words, the stronger you mentally and emotionally become, and of course physically, but I always throw that in because I am the exercise person, right? That wants to really bring you to a place of taking care of your body and feeling that strength and trying to do some fitness or exercise every day. That will definitely get you into a better mode. But if you want to become emotionally and mentally a little bit more stable, to where you just don't have to fly off the handle when something happens, then we can do that by living in the moment in a little bit more of a mindful discipline. And if these qualities of being disciplined and feeling empowered are more established in you, then you are more cultivated, then you feel stronger in life and you feel less of these anxiety and stress symptoms. So for better words, let's say qualities that give us inner strength are confidence, right? And courage, trying to try something new out, or try some change. I always talk about change in the sense of life is constantly changing around you. And if you don't adapt to that, you don't have to change, but you have to grow with that, right? And move with that. So that takes some courage once in a while, right? To try some new things and kind of jump into something new. We can also talk about just everyday optimism, trying to see life a little bit more with the eyes of a child, like, wow, this is amazing around us. I am up and about. I am grateful for my health. So if you're coming to that optimistic, kind of grateful state of mind in the morning, that'll carry you through the day a little bit better. And if you take ownership of your own life, if you are in control and you really feel that you are the leader of your decisions, and sometimes, yes, they come from the outside, but can you respond to it in an adequate manner? If that feels like you are in control and you own your steps ahead, then that gives you a lot more of an aspiration-driven life, right? And that inner strength is definitely also driven by determination and by energy, of course. It is really, really kind of like bubbling up inside you. So when you feel those components of confidence and courage, ownership, focus, energy, determination, when you feel all that in your body, in your minds, when you set your mind to cultivate those qualities of your life, then stress disappears. Because there's no reason to let that stress in without having a feeling, without it letting, take control of you, right? It doesn't take control of you. So of course I get stressed out about things that are going on in the world. And sometimes when I watch the news and things are very unpleasant, then I get stressed out about the state of affairs, the things that maybe we can do about it. Maybe we can step up to the plate and make some changes in our own small little world. I'm going to the things, if I feel stressed out about it, that I can control. I'm going to the things that I can control. And if I want to make little steps towards love or towards appreciation or understanding or giving, then I am in control of that. I can do that. And that makes me feel better. And it makes me feel that I did contribute a little bit towards taking good steps forwards in the world that sometimes is upside down around us, right? So in those spiritual traditions that you can do for yourself, spiritual in the meaning of thinking, in the meaning of manifesting, in the meaning of believing, I mean believing in it, right? The meaning of cultivating it because you're bringing it to the universe. You're praying about it. You're thinking about it. How can I manifest good things inside my brain, inside my thinking? How can I train that muscle, work that muscle, and move that muscle into thinking more positive, stronger, with more courage and confidence? How do you do that? Into that settled form of determination and intention. It's not always easy because sometimes I don't have the energy, sometimes I don't feel that power, and sometimes I don't feel that creative force inside me, and I just want to have a blah day. And if that is the case, then well, that's fine. But most of the time, I have to work at it. And that means that I have to be determined in the morning and do some things that I don't really want to do. If I want to make changes to my body and my health, I got to get up and work out in the mornings. And if it's cold or I'm sleepy or snuggling in my warm bed, I just sometimes don't want to get up and do it. But I have to make myself do the things that I don't always want to do. And then number two, what do I need to do? I need to repeat them. I need to repeat them. And number three, I need to also forgive myself if I don't do it for a couple of days and just move on and get right back on that horse, right? Right back in that race, right back on it, right back into the gym or the studio or wherever you work out. So if you are just giving up in the sense of, well, I haven't done it for 3 days, so I might as well, that is not really helping. That is not really helping. So I have to find the determination and courage and that strength inside to do it all the time, even if I don't want to do it. I gotta do it. I gotta repeat it the next day and I gotta repeat it the next day, but I will feel better. And definitely after I do that for, now, well, they say with exercise for 7 weeks, right? Once you have established all these habits of taking care of yourself, for instance, in that sense of exercise, if you do that for a couple of weeks, you can't live without, because it actually really starts wearing on you, right? It starts showing. You feel better, you're healthier, your blood pressure might go down, right? Sugar levels, you might feel energized, you might sleep better. All these side effects, all these great benefits, the positive side effects of working out are settling in. So you feel more powerful and you feel more in control. So all that helps. So we have to start sometimes with things that we don't want to do. So if we want to find that energy, that power, and that creative force, we have to start with things that are difficult. We have to work at it to get to that word empowerment, right? And so in a lot of language, sometimes we don't really what that means. What does that mean, that empowerment? It's really the opposite of anxiety. If I let anxiety in and I start to go outside and just feel down and I just don't know what to do about tomorrow, that means that I haven't planned anything. I don't have control over it, right? It just really will not disappear, that anxiety, because there is no outcome that I have created. There is no way out. I can't see a way out. And I'm just staring at that grass to wait for the grass to grow. And that is not really a good thing and very healthy for us. We have to focus on the things that we can do for our own health, for our own mind, and for our own spiritual self. We have to focus on those things that are just opposites of that anxiety. And how can we come to that awareness? How can we come to that willpower? We just have to do these exercises for it, not just the exercise physically, but also mentally. Like I said, we have to do some things that are maybe even out of our comfort zone, even more difficult. We have to just look at a list of what we can do sometimes, right? So you have to think at maybe making changes and be a little bit courageous about something. Let's say you don't really like the company of a lot of people, and usually you're shy, then maybe it will lift you up if you take the courage to join a group of people or join a club or join a social or a civic group where you have to appear every month and you have to take the courage to go to it and go through it and go do it. If you are finding that courage to do something out of your comfort zone or out of your ordinary, right, then you might find that very courageous, and that may give you a feel of willpower. It might give you a feel of being empowered when it comes to that, right? A little bit more optimism, really believing in yourself. So it's great for your self-esteem. It's great for your belief in yourself. It really helps setting that optimism and settling in that sense of power. You can also really find some different mindsets when it comes to your thinking. For instance, going into a positive mindset, bringing your thoughts into something positive, the opposite of what you were just thinking when it comes to, I can't do that, or I've never done that, or I'm not sure. This time, just kind of catch yourself thinking it and then turn it around. Yes, I can. Yes, I am doing that. Yes, I am going there. Yes, I am going to take that on. So if you can change that, and sometimes I just say, again, repeat and repeat and repeat, right? Do something new, do something out of your comfort zone, do something that you don't want, and then repeat it. And sometimes you have to repeat it in your mind. Sometimes you have to say it out loud. That's why I make my clients sometimes write their affirmations down. I am great at being in company of a large group. I am great finding myself in the company of a large group. I am great at finding myself in the company of a large group. If you are going to write that down, you stick it on your little private cupboard, right? Or your closet or your medicine cabinet, and you stick it and you see it every morning when you brush your teeth. You can do that mind work. You can tell yourself that. So if you find these reasons to cultivate that, if you find these ways, and the reasons, of course, because you want to become better at training yourself, doing the things that are out of your comfort zone, right? Taking that courage is the first step, or towards that courage, the first step, doing it, right? Just do it. And it's not always easy to take that action. And I know that, but that's the very first step into being and becoming and growing into the person that you would like to see. It's very, very purposeful, right? Very purposeful living. So we are just going away from that rumination, from feeling of hopelessness, feelings of hopelessness, from maybe boredom. Maybe you just don't know what it is that you're looking for, right? And you feel bored in the sense of, with the things that you are doing, you feel bored, and you're not really in a place yet where you can find out, or when you know, you're not in a place of knowing what it is that you are looking for. Sometimes it's just apathy. We're just staring and sitting and doing a little bit much of that. And sometimes we're very sad and we're in a place of deserved sadness, right? We can claim it. We've been through a lot and we recognize that. And it's hard to find anything pleasurable around us at that moment. And sometimes we're even overwhelmed by feelings of guilt and fatigue and just anger. Maybe some people have just settled some of that anger and some of that these resistment feelings, in resentment inside us, right? I couldn't find the word. Resentment. If we have those emotions and we go through that, then we know by now that we can do the opposite to bring us into a better mindset. So if you're becoming more engaged with what you want, and you're more engaged into taking action, and you're more engaged trying to get out of those thoughts and just do something. In the past, I always told my patients that I worked with when I worked in a setting of addiction recovery, I always said, don't take something, go do something, right? Just sitting there and drinking a lot of beers doesn't help. You just have to get busy with it. Just have to get busy with it. Just the old fashioned. Just think about for a minute, what is negative? What is negative around me? Recognize it. And then try in your mind to put some positive thoughts, some opposite emotions, some opposites on that, right? What is good about it and what can I do about it? What am I in control of? What do I have power over? And how can I start going in there? It's very important to find all that. And then if you feel more in that state of empowerment and courage, then anxiety will slowly leave. So again, in our mind, we can slowly shift that self-talk, right? We can question those limiting beliefs that we have. I can't do it. I'm not sure. I've never. I didn't. I couldn't. All that. Nobody ever believed it. If we can shift that self-talk, then you can really question and redirect your attention to the things that are empowering, right? Sometimes you need to make yourself a promise and a new offer to step into that courage. Develop the willingness to let go of what doesn't align with you so that you can focus on the things that you really want. Sometimes we have to let go of some things that we don't want. Just completely let go. Might be people, might be relationships, might be jobs, careers. We might get stuck in those things. And sometimes we have to let go so that you can make yourself an offer of stepping in your power and stepping into your own greatness, right? So then you can shift your focus if you do that. If you are just short-term thinking all the time, what about tomorrow and this, that, shift your focus into a longer plan. What is the grand goal? What is the grand outcome? What is this going to look like if I do this for 5 years? If it's fitness, I'm going to look amazing. Even if I'm 75 or 85 or 95, right? I want to keep going and be strong and keep that light on when it comes to exercise. Just do it. Don't think about it, just do it, right? So you have to shift that focus into the long-term plan. Because if I want to get old healthy, I really have to make some changes in my routine when it comes to working out, in my maybe everyday lifestyle diet, right? Maybe I have to make some changes there. Maybe I need to go to bed earlier, or maybe I need to wake up earlier. Or maybe I need to wake up later and go to bed early anyway, get more sleep. Anyway, what works for you, find a pattern and repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. So start taking that action, even if it's unpleasant, and repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. And then when you fall off the wagon, get back on. Just don't worry about it. Don't feel guilty. Don't try to explain it. Just go back on. Just get back on. And sometimes if it doesn't feel good, we just have to embrace that pain because we know it's growing pains. And it's just in the beginning. If you just started to work out, yes, there's growing pains. This is just the beginning of it. It will go away. And the rewards is so much better, right? So sometimes we just have to go through that growing pain. We just have to see that. Sometimes we just have to really go into those goals that we're setting for ourselves. Challenge your excuses. And make sure that you're not into the trap of procrastination. Because that will repeat every week. I didn't do it, now I do it next Monday. Well, what do you think next Tuesday happens? Next Monday. And the Tuesday after that. Next Monday. We have to do it, just step into it immediately. It doesn't matter if you wait for the 1st of January. It doesn't matter it doesn't make sense if you wait for the 1st of the month. It doesn't make sense if you wait for your birthday or wait for the spring to come in. Just do it now. You step into that greatness of you. Step into that amazing confidence, the amazing feeling of, yes, I can do it. I can make decisions that are healthy for myself with an amazing outcome in 5 or 10 years. I can already see it, visualize it, feel it. If you can visualize it, and then you can feel it, then you're stepping in that greatness. That is the first step. And then you're going to take that action and you feel so awesome. Don't forget to reward yourself. Give yourself a pat on your shoulders and say, good job. Good job, Elian, you did it. Right? Because the better you feel, and that's what I will finish with that quote, as I put on the back of my book, right? It doesn't get any easier around us. Life will keep throwing some curveballs at you. So if you feel that you're stepping into greatness, you're getting better at it. Life will not change around you. Life will not necessarily get any easier. But you will get a lot better at it. A lot better at it. Just step in your greatness. Step in that courage and step in that empowerment into that feeling of power and control. I hope to see you next week. I wish you a wonderful, amazing rest of the day. Make it awesome. Make it awesome. I'm grateful that you're watching Elian's Joy. I'm grateful that you're on this platform, winwinwomen.tv, with all amazing show hosts and great, great topics. And also just follow me on my YouTube, and follow my shorts. Follow me on social media, elianhaan.com. I will see you next week. And I will promote next week an amazing workshop that I have coming up this month. Planning 2024. So that falls right into this. What are we going to do in 2024? We're going to do more. We're going to explore in 2024. So follow me and find me And then I'll see you next week. Bye.